My name is Clay Miller. I'm on associate staff with the Navigators with my wife, Bev. We're currently on the team of 14 team members here at NAS Whidbey Island. I knew growing up that I wanted to be an astronaut. My dad challenged me and said that most astronauts were Navy pilots, and most Navy pilots went to Annapolis. And so I went to Annapolis. So I joined the Navy in 1978 and became a flyer, and then finished my career in 2002. I came to know Christ when I was 17, but the process started earlier. My mom raised me to know God and to know about His Word and to love His Word. The verse that the Navigators had drilled into me so many times, Matthew 28:18 through 20, and it says, Jesus said, "And all authority on heaven and earth has been given to me. Go therefore and make disciples of all the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to observe everything I have." And then there was that word. And I'd read it probably 100 times, but I'd never heard it before. It says, teaching them to observe or obey everything I have commanded you. I thought about it, and I knew that He had commanded the Sea of Galilee to become still. I knew that He had commanded demons to come out of people. But I never once remember Him commanding the disciples to do anything. And then just like that, this other verse came into mind. Jesus says to His disciples, "Why do you call me Lord, Lord, but you do not do the things I say?" As a military guy, I knew that if my commanding officer came into my presence and said, "Hey, Ensign Miller, I need you to go down and tell Lieutenant Blakely to come into my office in 5 minutes," my only response is, "Yes, sir," or "Aye, aye, sir," and to do it. I didn't have to wait for him to say, "Hey, Ensign Miller, I command you to go tell Lieutenant Blakely to come see me." I knew that anything he said was by definition a command because he was the commander. And I looked up the word Lord in the Greek, and it means two things, master and commander. And so I knew that I had this military command that Christ had given to those 11 men after the resurrection to go and make disciples of all the nations. And so just like other areas of my life that I turned over, I remember telling the Lord, "Yes, Lord, I will spend the rest of my life obeying the command to make disciples of all the nations."
Well, I spent 35 years in the Navy. I joined the enlisted ranks in 1968. I was promoted to captain when I was in Naval Training Unit at Whidbey Island. When I was stationed in Japan, I was living in sin and my life was miserable. Nothing seemed to go right and things weren't going in the right direction. I want to give others a chance to come to the Lord earlier than what I did. It was about 27 years I spent, I was introduced to some of the Navigator Military team that they came to the chapel. I did ask Clay if he'd baptize me, and he did that one Wednesday night right with the Navs there. Clay did it for me, and I was very grateful for that. Every Friday we have a men's breakfast, and that's where we do the weekly things on what's going on that week, what's coming up in the next events, who's being discipled. Like Clay did with Lucy and I, we want to do with other people. We want to put our lives into their lives by intentionally growing believers into fully devoted followers of Christ who will go on to make other disciples of their own.
The concept of generational disciple making is all over the Old and the New Testament. The Lord is very interested in not just our children, but our children's children. He's interested in not just me coming to Christ, but other people coming to Christ through me. And He doesn't have to use any of us, but He chooses to do that. Jesus is telling His disciples literally hours before He's crucified. He says, "You did not choose me, but I chose you. And I appointed you that you should go and bear fruit." And then the next thing He says, "and that your fruit should remain." So the only way fruit remains is if it goes into the ground and dies. And I realized that Christ wasn't interested in one generation of fruit. He was interested in multi-generations of fruit that would bear fruit, that would bear more fruit. Disciples who would make disciples who would make disciples.